So let's say, like usually when we talk about architecture, we are describing from very small scope to bigger scope. But for this talk, let's say that we are aiming to create a monorepo, preparing to have multiple applications and multiple libraries, just to cover like the most complicated examples here. And let's say that having this in mind, how what is the best way to approach breaking down the apps into the features? How do we approach it from the business point of view?
Maybe tiny little side note before we move on, just because to relate it to an NX, which we use as like our standard now. And I think that's like a very key point to understand. Many folks like are not aware of that or not using in that way, which is that, as we say, like if it's a DDD or however, if it's something homegrown, like the key property is this kind of like isolation between the parts. And then let's say you want to do it, you want to have this isolation, you have this architecture, but then in the past, before like this tooling like NX, you would depend on like a very rigorous code reviews and like just really paying attention and developer discipline. But this is like one of the biggest game changers with tooling like NX is that you can actually automate that. That the isolation is preserved across the whole lifetime of a project because you can actually define rules about how the dependency graph can look like, which kind of library can consume other kind of library, and so on and so on. And plus, it's not just like on that, let's say, technical level that you say like that the UI component should only use the other UI component and some utils and not the other way around, but also on like ad hoc organization level for your organization when you can really define rules for like your domains or like in any other multi-level structure of like business context, and this tooling supports you with that. So I think that's like a very key point there to relate it.